Hey, what's up, everybody? Today I wanted to talk about solo queue, what it is, why we should care about it, kind of some of the cons about it, what Blizzard said about it, that kind of good stuff. So, what solo queue is basically just queuing by yourself, but it being ranked. So, kind of like doing skirmishes and random battlegrounds, but in a ranked context. So the reason why that can be beneficial is ranked PvP is in a really bad spot right now. It's not. It's definitely not the best. Like the requirements to get Glad are a little bit lower than what it was in previous seasons. Same with Hero of the Horde, all that good stuff. There's just not a lot of people playing in the ranked system that we have now. One of the biggest issues with the system we have now is the time it takes to find a group of people. It's not too difficult to, get into like, some sort of YOLO group where you don't really care and you just kind of want to, go in, do your thing, get your points for the week to get maybe a good piece of gear. That works all the way up to about, like 17, 1800. You could probably do that YOLO style. But the part where it starts to get really difficult is when you're trying to, really push ranked, really push your rating and get it up. The issues we have a lot is people having the requirements, right? Like we require you to have 2200 previous rating experience. Like I have that, which I'm not doubting my skill to be able to do that again. But I haven't been 2200 since MOP, mainly for a lack of trying. It's not as fun as it used to be. Like trying to get a group is the hardest part. I still love doing arenas. I still love doing ranked arenas. The problem is just trying to find the people of equal skill level to push that rating. Like luckily I've got Zicho and Blowpro. Shout out to you guys and a few others like Cobalt. We're gonna hopefully, fingers crossed, actually be able to find time frames to start actually pushing rating again because it is a lot of fun. It's fun when you have a team of good people to actually push rating. The problem is finding those good people and finding consistent schedules. So that's kind of where solo queue comes in and how it can be extremely beneficial. So instead of, logging on thinking, okay, I'm ready to do some 3v3, I go into the pre-made group finder. I put in like, hey, I'm looking for this class, this experience. And then all of a sudden, cool, boom, I'm starting to get some invites. Wow, that was really quick. And all of a sudden, that guy is linking 2200 and he's a boosted account, or he paid gold or paid real life money to get that rating. And all of a sudden, I'm wasting my time doing 3v3s with someone who's not of equal skill level, even though they said they were. So solo queue can kind of get rid of that by kind of having a MMR system very similar to other Blizzard games such as Overwatch, Heroes of the Storm. I think Hearthstone has some sort of rated system, so I'm sure they could figure it out. They definitely know the math and know the algorithms for it, because if they didn't, then you wouldn't be able to solo queue in Overwatch or Heroes of the Storm. So it's apparent that they have these systems in place. Oh, and StarCraft. They just haven't implemented it in World of Warcraft, which I get why, because I feel like they're really holding on to that, that sense of like teamwork and, finding groups. And that's just, I feel like that's not how video games are evolving. It's it's such a time constraint trying to find these groups, and it would really increase the amount of PvP activity. And it would put you with people of equal skill level, which is great because you wouldn't have to worry about people lying about their rating, lying about their skill level. And it would greatly reduce queue times. More people would be interested in actually queuing for rated battlegrounds, 3v3 arenas, and 2v2s. Another reason that could be extremely great is I don't know about most PvPers, but if it's anything like me, most PvPers aren't getting their gear from PvP. We're just not. It's way too easy to run a Mythic 15, get, I think it's a 950 or 960 plus item level piece of gear, and that's it. All you got to do is run that once a week and you're set. Like I really liked what Blizzard did with their PvP system, this expansion. As far as gear goes, the higher your rating, the more gear you get. So right now I'm sitting at about, I think, between 17 and 1800, I believe. So I get a 930 piece a week, which 930, that's good. It's decent, especially because everything gets scaled in PvP. Right now I'm just shy of 960 item level, and so I have that 15% increased damage and all that good stuff. So a way this could be extremely beneficial is it can help PvPers get gear through PvP, because the better you are, the better gear you're gonna get, and it's gonna it's gonna encourage more people to PvP, thinking, so if I keep grinding this by myself, doing these solo queues, I can actually get gear from this. Like I can start getting decent gear. So some of the issues I can see with it is I don't really know how they would. I've seen some people say they could split, having your solo queue rank and your team rank, and I just don't think that would work out too well. I think that that would just be too much, trying to juggle like two ratings. Some people say, oh well, you could use the solo queue to actually find good people. You could go from like, hey, let's do ranked teams. I think that might be too much. So what I think they could do is do it similar to Overwatch, where if you're in a team, it's going to try and group you with other teams. Now, it's a little different because, in Overwatch you have 6, and 3v3 you have 3, and then 2v2 you have 2. So I can see them mushing it together, very similar to how Overwatch is done, where it's kind of done as an algorithm where if you're in a team, you're going to be put up against a team. Other issues I see with it is composition. Some comps just completely dominate other comps. I'm sure they can figure out whatever your class and spec is and kind of try and group you with other people of that a comp would work. So like as a Death Knight, I wouldn't want to get grouped with what's a class I wouldn't really want to play with? A Shadow Priest. I don't think there's really any comps, at least as a Frost Death Knight, maybe with Unholy. But it's just a comp I've personally never tried. Wouldn't really know how to work with it. But they can think of like, okay, so I'm queuing as a Frost Death Knight. It would be good to go play with a Warrior. It would be good to play with a Retribution Paladin, a Monk, a Demon Hunter. Like it could take those things into account and kind of build you into a composition that wouldn't get completely dominated. And the loading screen, boss, let's do it. So that's something that could be kind of hard to work around, is the whole composition thing, is one comp is going to typically dominate another comp, but other than that, I think there's ways they could work around it, because they've done it with Overwatch, they've done it with Heroes of the Storm, they have solo queues implemented. And as far as what Blizzard has said about it, so a lot of this information I've been getting from other YouTubers and like watching their ideas, and kind of a lot of their ideas is kind of like how they would split it. I don't think that would work very well. Let me know what you guys think about that. But Savix had gone in during the Q&A, and him and his stream pretty much like spammed him and was like, hey, what about solo queue? What about solo queue? What about solo queue? And they responded, surprisingly. Granted, they responded negatively to it, saying that they don't plan on doing anything with solo queue. So what I think we really need to do is really start pushing the awareness for solo queue, really start getting our voices heard, and letting Blizzard know that this is something we as a PvP community want, just because I think it would greatly increase the amount of PvPers and the amount of activity that we could see. Also, it really helps, because like I said earlier, finding teams is one of the hardest parts, and being able to queue by yourself and kind of grind it by yourself is really something that I think could really allow a lot of people to shine a lot more and be able to climb those ladders and really showcase their skill. And then One other issue I wanted to touch up on is the whole communication thing, that people saying, well, if you don't have comms, you're not really going to be able to push that high. Well, Blizzard already said that they're going to be implementing a communication system similar to Overwatch. So you'd be running into the same problems as Overwatch of people not wanting to get in chat, but you know, usually in the higher rated you get, the more often than not people are going to want to use communication, because people of higher rating tend to know that communication is important. So that's kind of my little rant about solo queue. Let me know in the comments what you guys think, whether it's negative, whether it's positive, other ideas on how they could implement it and make it work. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing in the future whether or not Blizzard does plan on implementing some sort of solo queue. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to stay up to date with future videos. And don't forget to check me out on Twitch. Link will be in the description below, and I will catch you guys next time. Bye, and thanks for watching.